All right,
And
notes.
we're going live.
Okay.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good whatever it is, wherever you happen to be. Welcome once again to Nerd Week Live here on YouTube, brought to you by us, the peoples at Nerd Caliber. I am Rodney Brown. I'm the editor in chief of Nerd Caliber, first person shooter on Facebook as a cosplay photographer, Burley underscore adopter on Twitter and a bunch of other places, mostly as a tech journalist and things like that. Joining me tonight is the wonderfully, I was going to say hirsute, and that's not really a wonderful thing to say about a
No,
woman.
but
So
it's a
let's say Buffered.
Hi. We're having a technical difficulty in my neighborhood, and it's very cold, so I'm wearing my fake fur. Hi, I'm Gogo Incognito, and I've been with Nerd Caliber for a long time. I love doing this show, and you can see me very soon
Ooh,
in cosplay.
ooh,
Oh, I think it's next week at Emerald City Comic Con.
out in the beautiful city of.
Seattle. In the meantime, you can find me very easily. My name rhymes. It's Gogo Incognito. Gogo Incognito. You can find me anywhere online. You just type that in. It's super easy.
Cool, cool. And we don't have anybody in the chat. Oh, Dyslexicon, welcome to the chat. I was just about to say everybody must be watching the Massachusetts senatorial debate going on public television right now. No, I don't think so. It is on my TV, however, but I had to stop watching. Actually, I think it ended. It's only an hour long. Uh,
Happy birthday to
Isa,
this lexicon.
yes, and Isa, second, and welcome to the show. If I'm not pronouncing that correctly, if it's Isa, let me know, please. Um, and Luminous, welcome to the show. Luminous was watching the debate. Luminous, you're a good public citizen. Jill Welch, welcome to the show. It's Jill Welch. And so welcome to the show. Um, we've got a few topics. There's actually been some very interesting stuff that dropped this past week, so we're going to jump right into it here. Yeah, I guess I'll do the promos of where we'll be at the end of the show. But the first thing is, and this is just such wonderful news for people of sort of my generation, you guys who haven't seen this will get to experience the brilliance that is Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis is coming back after a 17-year hiatus from making films to do a series based on the movies Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and it's a movie. I'm sorry, for a theatrical release made by the Disney people, and it's going to be called simply Shrunk. This is outstanding. Um, it's
He's an amazing
amazing.
actor. Yeah.
He is so good. So go favorite Rick Moranis role.
Suddenly Seymour. I mean, look at my jazz hands. You said
Okay.
the name. I started with the jazz hands. I never know when you're actually showing a picture of the person we're talking about or you're showing me. So I just do jazz hands probably for a lot of the show. But anyway, Rick Moranis has been an absolute favorite of mine since I was just a little girl. Like, I cannot get over how good he was in every single role. Also, going back to Ghostbusters, y'all, he was in the original Ghostbusters. He was the Keymaster.
hmm
And
Louis Tully.
he's just very special. It's one of these people that you're like, oh, I'm so sorry he's gone, but I think he did wonderfully in everything he did. So he's coming back, and that just means we get to be dazzled by him again. Um, for all of you who are new to Rick Moranis, do not discount him because of his age. Get swept in. And also, if you haven't seen the original Ghostbusters, shame on you.
Or I was waiting for somebody to say this. If somebody didn't, I was going to. Dyslexicon brings up Spaceballs. He was Dark Helmet in
Oh
Spaceballs.
my God, you're right, Dark Helmet.
Um, and Dyslexicon and Luminous, from what I understand, based on what I've read, he has been out of the movie industry solely because he's, as he says, he made enough money and wanted to be just a normal family guy. So that says something about waifu. Welcome back to the show. That says something about how much money Disney threw at him. Luminous Bob McKenzie, and in fact, one of his very last roles, other than being in documentaries or things like that about some of his other roles, was in an animated series about Bob and Doug, which I'm assuming was made in Canada because I've never seen it, and I think that would be hilarious. My favorite, I don't know, that's a hard call. This is going to be a weird one, folks. If you've never seen it, if you ever want to see what Rick Moranis would look like doing a straight up dramatic role, he was in a movie called Streets of Fire, which is this like 1980s punk rockabilly. It was the first thing that Willem Dafoe ever made. And Moranis plays the manager of a singer who was played by Diane Lane, her first role.
Jeez.
Yeah. And he is amazing. He is absolutely amazing as this sort of, short guy syndrome, but tough little, hard scrabble manager of this singer. Yeah, Dyslexicon. Rick got his nest egg, chilled out. It's, that's what he decided to do, apparently.
So wait, what was the name of the thing again?
Streets of Fire.
Okay, that sounds like a wonderful play, like Streetcar of Desire or whatever, but I've never heard of it. So I will have to look this up because you're naming Willem Dafoe, Diane Lane, Rick Moranis?
Yep. Willem Dafoe is the bad guy, and he is absolutely frightening.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. And if you're a fan of rockabilly from the 80s, the Blasters play. There's a lot of music. It's a music. It's surrounding music because Diane Lane plays a torch singer. But there's all sorts of great music throughout it, including the Blasters perform in the motorcycle club that Willem Dafoe leads. They're like the house band, and it's amazing. Watch it. Go find this movie. It's 80s cheesy as hell, but because they try too hard to be too stylish. I mean, it's like super style, and it's really awesome. But anyway, so Rick Moranis coming back. We have no idea when this will happen, because obviously they just announced it. But Joe Johnston, who directed the first movie, is coming back, and apparently Josh Gad, everybody's favorite snowman, is going to be back.
Okay.
Not back. Is going to be in it. He was not in the first, of course.
I was going to say, is he that old? But
he is not that old.
No. But I just saw him in Murder on the Orient Express.
Yes.
And again, he has one of those faces that's timeless. So I'm like, maybe he's one of those people.
Yeah. No, that was me screwing up.
Okay.
But yeah, so wait for this to come out, folks, and go see it. And revel in the joy that is Rick Moranis as a comic actor.
Absolutely.
What Gogo said, absolutely. All right, moving on to our next one. Speaking of movies and speaking of Disney, and so Disney has greenlit Aladdin 2, the live-action version, because money. I'm guessing. Luminous says he saw Streets of Fire in the theaters when it came out. Didn't like it at the time. Perhaps I would enjoy it more now. It gets slow at times. I just love so many of the performances in it. The acting performances that it's one of my favorites. Anyway, Aladdin.
I didn't see the first one. I'm an old school Disney girl, so it was hard for me. Like there've been a few of the remakes that I've watched, Beauty and the Beast, but I didn't see the new Aladdin. So you're on your own for this one, Rodney. I don't have a comment.
So
except,
go ahead. Except.
I was going to say except. I guess the first one must have done well since they're making a 2.
It clearly made enough money for them to want to make a 2. I have also not seen the first one, although our reviewer, thought it was decent, that it was funny at times, that it was not as insulting to the original as a lot of people were afraid it might be, but certainly not, to the quality of the original because one, that was animation, and two, Robin Williams. Um, the comment from, I think it was Byron D Zero, who said that clearly Will Smith isn't Robin Williams, but he made it very clear right out of the gate that he didn't try to be. That he tried to be Will Smith as a genie, and that works. Might not work as well as Robin Williams as the genie, but it works. And so, from what I understand, and the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and so on, it's decent. It's a funny film, enjoyable. So there's absolutely no word whether or not Guy Ritchie is coming back to direct it, whether the stars, whether Mina Massoud, who's Aladdin, Will Smith the Genie, or Naomi Scott, who is Jasmine, are coming back. The people writing it are somebody named John Gattens, who wrote Flight and Real Steel. But Andrea Burloff, who wrote Straight Outta Compton and The Kitchen.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's very heavy and not what I think at all for Disney.
Those titles don't go.
Action. No. Okay.
But it made $1 billion, so worldwide, 355 million domestically, and let's assuming it's even, with paying everybody, it was like in the $150 million range. Even domestically, it made enough to be a hit for them to clearly want to have a second one. Not that I want one, but Dyslexicon liked it and says Will knew better than to try to be anyone but himself. True, Guy Ritchie had to bolster his confidence to be himself during production. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I love Guy Ritchie movies for the most part. I mean, he's had some stinkers, clearly. But, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, Rock and Rolla.
Okay. Snatch still holds up, even if it's weird in some ways.
Oh, yeah.
Watched it not too long ago, and it's like, oh, take it for what it is. It still holds up.
Still holds up. Yep.
Yeah.
Rock and Rolla the same. The first Sherlock Holmes, the first of the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes. Second one, he didn't quite hit that one, but
sequels are hard, and then they never came back with a third, which I was just thinking about the other day. Like, why not?
I would assume it had more to do with Robert Downey Jr.'s production schedule with Marvel than anything else. And then once they couldn't work out a time, my guess is, and this is entirely a guess, that Ritchie then went on to do things like King Arthur and the awful retelling of anachronistic garbage. I think that's not the exact title of the movie, but it's pretty close.
I don't think it is.
A person. Hello, A person. Welcome to the chat. But yeah, so Aladdin 2, if you liked Aladdin, the live action, they're making a new one, and if they don't make it with Will Smith and Mina Massoud and Naomi Scott, they're idiots. They're going to throw enough money at these people. They'll make another one. They'll be in it.
Otherwise, I feel like it would be another straight-to-video.
And that's not what they're saying.
Of in the Disney world.
Yeah. Well, that's true. There has been, like all of the post-Aladdin animated movies were all straight-to-video. And garbage. Like, really awful. The quality drop was so hard. But hopefully not the case. Maybe Guy Ritchie will do what he did with the whole, British legendary history thing, and he'll make Arthur and then give Robin Hood to some idiot so that he doesn't have to take the blame for it and just be the producer. But, yeah. Anyway, enough of me ranting about bad historical movies. That right there is, of course, and I'm going to need somebody in the chat to spell me on this one. Is it Eris or Aerith? I see it and literally have people tell me I'm saying it wrong no matter which way I say it at cons. I see it spelled both ways. Who is this character from Final Fantasy VII? Eris or Aerith? Yes, waifu. This is anime. Well, it's a game actually. It's so
Final
this
Fantasy.
is from the news is that the opening cinematic, the first 5 minutes of the upcoming Final Fantasy VII remake, the HD, beautifully textured, gorgeous looking remake, was released as a trailer, and you can go watch it. And it introduces you to the world, and it introduces you to all of the main characters, um, Cloud and Barrett, and and Air or whoever this is, Aerith. Dyslexicon is Aerith. Eris is just how it got localized. Okay, thank you. I still have people yell at me because I'm saying it wrong no matter what. Um, but I'm going to go with Aerith because I believe Dyslexicon.
They would know. And just knowing this person, again, happy birthday. They have been a fanatic about this. No hate. For like at least as long as I've known them, which has been like 15 years.
Oh wow, awesome.
Okay. Yeah.
And in that case, happy birthday, Dyslexicon. If I didn't wish you a happy birthday on Facebook because I don't know who you are, but that's okay. If I did, happy birthday again. Um, and that's one of the beauties of YouTube is it's anonymous, except for people like Luminous who's using the same name as his YouTube channel and photography. So, but anyway, so yeah, this dropped. It looks gorgeous. If you're at all a fan of the series, you got to go check it out. It's absolutely wonderful. You do get to see some examples of some combat, um, but mostly it's setting up the world and some of the main characters, or at least introducing to you to how they will look, and it's gorgeous.
It's absolutely stunning. Um, if you like this, or if you are a Final Fantasy person, there is so much. If you just go and you play in that world, like you look up more stuff. One thing I want to say as an LGBT person is that this remake does bring up a, a scene where our hero, Cloud, previously was in drag. And they've redone it in a way that is on the mark, very LGBT friendly. So if it's something that you played before and you're like, wow, this doesn't feel right, I encourage you to re examine it. And if you're new to it, then I have to say that again, that Squeenix has listened to their fans and they're doing it right.
Yep, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I completely forgot about the cross dressing, the in drag scene. April 10th, folks. If you want to play this, it's PS4, obviously. Um, so I have no idea when it will then move out to any other platforms, but certainly April 10th, if you're on the PlayStation PS4 platform, it's there and ready for you, or will be. Um, oh, hmm, that's basically Anime Boston weekend. Hmm, that ought to be interesting. Do you think we're going to see all of the Final Fantasy characters at Anime Boston?
I encourage that. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it,
Do it,
do it.
do it. As Ben Stiller says, do
Yeah.
it.
Do it. Your costumes from years ago are relevant again.
Yes.
Just up your makeup because now the look is better. Put more gel in this, but just do it. It's do it.
Unless you're one of those like super perfectionists, like I've seen people who have already created the pleated skirt version of Tifa's outfit.
Oh, gee.
Um, and it's like, cool, yeah, great. I mean, the game's not out yet, but rock and roll, that's cool. Um, but yeah, whichever, as we say here, at Nerd Caliber, all cosplay is good cosplay. So,
Correct.
all right, moving on to our next topic. That person right there is the absolutely wonderful Gugu Mbatha Raw, British actress who the news is just recently got named as yet another casting for the upcoming Loki series.
Yes.
Yes, 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 on Disney Plus. Um, so this is one of those people you look at the actress and go, familiar. Why? Um, she has been in a bunch of stuff. She was Mrs. Murray in Wrinkle in Time. Um, you wouldn't know it. She was Plumette in the voice of Plumette, obviously in Beauty and the Beast. Um, oh no, she was in the live action one, so you might have recognized it. She was in, sadly of all things, Jupiter Ascending as a minor character. Um,
And I feel like I watched that, but I don't remember anything about it.
yeah, it's garbage. Um, yes, Dyslexicon Gugu is Bay, and Gugu. Uh, this thing that's up on your screen right now is from the terrible movie Cloverfield Paradox. But she and David Oyelowo were co-leads in this movie. The two main commanders of the space station that this thing was set in. And one that was wonderful. The two black actors as uh, completely unapologetic co-commanders of a space station. So yay! But she was the best thing about it. I mean, it was a great cast, and the cast was pretty good, but she just really nailed it. She was awesome. And then most recently, she was on the morning show on Apple TV, so nobody's seen it. So
Oh gosh, we talked about Apple TV.
I,
Are you watching it now, Rodney?
I no, I don't own an Apple product. I've never. I actually have a. Oh gosh, what was that version of the Mac? I have one of the old Mac Pro, the silver and blue towers from from 2000 or 2001.
We
Uh,
started watching it here in my house, and if we ever get into it with that show, I can't even remember what it's called. Something something Raven's Quest. That's all
oh
about.
yes,
God, we started watching it. We're not talking about it today. We're not talking about it today.
but it's right up our alley. We did talk
It
about
is
it when they announced it.
our alley. I know. It's just followers, people, friends, whoever's watching us. Do you have Apple TV? Because it's like I don't want to take up time talking about a really amazing show that none of you have seen, but it's really really good, y'all. It's good.
Apple's gotta make like a deal with Hulu to put this stuff up like after a season
Go
is done or
elsewhere.
something, so people
Yes,
can actually watch it. Because
yes.
other than Apple devoted people like GoGo
Oh yeah,
and maybe
hi.
Gugu, but not I don't know that. We don't know anything about her, but certainly GoGo.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so that's what 14% of the entire country is watching it. Dyslexicon. Jupiter Ascending is a movie I ironically love for Eddie Redmayne's relentless chewing scenery as Balern Abrasax. So, points for not even spelling the last name right, because even though they say it right, I always hear it and pronounce it as Abraxas, which is a different name, because Abrasax is just so tough to say. And getting his first name, who knew his first name? I didn't even know his first name. And I've
Wait,
watched the movie
Eddie
twice as
Redmayne?
much as I hate it. No, the character Balern Abrasax.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, everybody knows Eddie Redmayne's, because of Newt and everything else he's done. He's amazing. But yeah,
Yes.
he is top tier. He's Nicolas Cage tier scenery chewing in Jupiter Ascending.
But without the weird like memes and irony and everything that comes with he's young. Let's let him chew for another decade before we next stage him. That's what I want to say. He's young. He's trying. He's good. Let's let him chew. I'm here for it completely.
So here's something I am really here for, and it kind of ties into my last complaint or my recent complaint earlier about Guy Ritchie and Arthurian movies. So if you haven't seen it, go to YouTube right now and watch the trailer for The Green Knight.
That's what you were gonna say.
That is what I was going to say. That
Yep.
is Dev Patel as Gawain, one of Arthur's Knights of the Round Table, in this new movie made by A24 Pictures, and it is right up there as an A24 Pictures. It is, it's as stylish and bizarre looking as Midsummer. Um, it looks potentially as scary as Midsummer. It's gorgeous. The cast is amazing. Alicia Vikander, obviously Dev Patel. I can't wait to see this thing. Um, And yes, it is a completely different take on the tale of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, but it's not Guy Ritchie trying to make King Arthur as Snatch, which is essentially what that King Arthur movie was. This basically just takes the sensibility of the cinematography and the sort of um, atmospheric filmmaking that A24 is known for in movies like Midsommar and puts it into this tale. And it's stunningly looking. Stunningly looking. Stunning looking.
Unlike you, I'm gonna play devil's advocate, and you can get mad at me. I didn't love the trailer. I
Okay.
love the actors. I know the story. I'm excited for it because of the actors in the story. But I watched the trailer several times and I didn't fall in love with it the way you did. So maybe that's fine because I don't know some of the previous work.
Yeah.
You're talking about Guy Ritchie and all this stuff.
Well, yeah, that's the stuff that's garbage. Uh, this is the stuff that's not. So A24 Pictures,
All right.
uh, Midsummer, the horror movie set in Sweden, that was just an enormous hit. That is typical of the kind of sort of psychological horror stories they make.
Okay, maybe that's it. Is that I didn't, okay, that's probably it. Is that I didn't expect, because I don't know Midsummer. Like, I know it in terms of awards and this and that. I haven't watched it yet. But I didn't know the look of it. So I watched this and I'm like, I'm gonna see this and Dev Patel, and this looks amazing. But it just wasn't what I expected. So for those of you who haven't seen Midsummer, I encourage you to watch the trailer with fresh eyes because it still looks really, really good. I just didn't get the scary aspect that Rodney got because I didn't know I was supposed to see scary.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, so it's not technically a horror film. I mean, it's categorized as a fantasy drama and so on. But the way it's shot is shot very much um, like Midsummer. The studio A24 also did The Lighthouse. Um, they did Euphoria,
Oh,
the TV series. Um, Hereditary, The Witch.
oh, geez.
Yeah,
So this is okay. I get what you're saying. This is a full on, very, very like this has like credibility and it has bones and it has like all this stuff from all these amazing productions that you knew about. So I'm watching this going, I don't know what I'm just watching it as Sir Gawain.
yeah.
Like, oh, okay, here we go. Arthurian tales, Sir Gawain. Ooh, this is dark. Okay, Dev Patel looks good. Cool. Okay. I I still think it is absolutely gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. And yeah, since I did know what A24 was known for, that probably did color my sensibility of it. Um, but even still, it looks like it's a very interesting and very moody and atmospheric retelling of the story of Gawain and the Green Knight, and I'm in for that.
I'm in for that as well. Give me dark fantasy anytime.
Yeah. Dyslexicon, I really want to see Midsummer. Saw a preview of it when I went to see Us, and it came off as eerie. Um, Midsummer is disturbing in a way that I haven't been disturbed in a long time. It's now it hits a couple of triggers for me, and I don't want to give away because that would give away some of what goes on in there. But some of the violence or the horror violence that's in it is very specifically things that trigger me. Not like in PTSD type triggering. It's just like stuff that I do not want to see. Um, and so for me, Midsummer was, while beautiful and amazing, it's a never watch again. Um,
Ooh.
oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I get you. We all have those things. We all have our trigger. We all have our monsters.
Right.
We all have our things where we're like, that's great. I will never watch this again.
Yep. And that's basically. I mean, it's brilliant. It's genius. It's you know, it's feminist as hell. like way feminist. And it's also something that I went, yep, kind of wish I'd closed my eyes then. Um, at a couple of points. So just fair warning, your mileage may vary, but for me it was yikes, like big time yikes. Um, yeah, it's kind of like The Village as an art film. So Dyslexicon says it made me think of The Village with the constant sense of something's very wrong. It's like The Village as an art horror film. Um,
That's so interesting.
yeah, it's weird. Anyway, so yeah, Green Knight is in fact, I believe, according to expected end of May this year. It does not have an actual announced premiere date as of yet. Dyslexicon Horror that I have a hard time watching because of squicky things is the best worst. I have a hard time watching The Thing because of the body horror levels. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, body horror is a whole thing.
So Midsummer is not so much body horror in the sense like The Thing is, or like Junji Ito manga out of Japan. It's I don't want to get into it. But anyway, and not that it bothers me too much to get into it. To tell you what bothers me would have to
Give it
reveal
away.
things, and I don't want to reveal things.
Like if I say the Meg is about a shark, and that really scared me. I'm just kidding, Rodney.
Well, if you don't know the Meg is about a shark, you really didn't pay attention to the posters.
I know, but I still had trouble watching it because I'm scared of sharks.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm scared of, but again, that would give away things. So,
Can't say. All right, moving on, moving on, moving
moving on to
on.
something so much better, so much more interesting. That is the cast of the Eternals, the upcoming Marvel Phase 4 super enormous cast group movie that may or may not be trying to be set up as like the new Avengers or the new Guardians of the Galaxy. I guess say Guardians of the Galaxy because you're not introducing these characters individually at all. They're all sort of there at once, like Guardians. Um, but the news is that we are going to see, according to EW, for the first time in an MCU movie, a full-on, straight-up gay kiss.
And when we say gay kiss right now, we're talking about like this is the thing because gay can mean anything in the LGBT world. Because here at Nerd Caliber, we are all about gender inclusivity. But what we are talking about in this is dude on dude.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for that clarification. This is not the typical male gaze, let's watch lesbians kiss.
Correct.
These are two men in love kissing.
And it's been, I mean, this is the weird thing for me. Like, I read this and I saw this, I'm like, I mean, I don't know if I'm on screen right now, so I don't know if we see my hands
You
going
are.
up.
You are.
Oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. But it's like, Marvel Comics has been doing good gay for decades. So it's been very frustrating to see them catch up and they're like, oh, Valkyrie is lesbian or maybe bisexual. Catch the F up. And if they're doing it with this, that's great.
Yep.
All I have to say is it's about time because I know, again, this is what we deal with LGBT folks is that, again, like the, cis gal on cis gal or femme on femme, that's so easily acceptable. But this is a big deal. It shouldn't be a big deal. It's a big deal for Marvel. It's not a big deal for the world.
Exactly.
But they're doing it.
It's a big deal for MCU. It's not so much a big deal as you pointed out for Marvel Comics. We've had North Star as out and gay for a long time. Hulkling.
Hulkling.
Yes. Hulkling.
Yeah, I remember that from ages ago.
Yep. And at the time a teenager. He was one of the Young Avengers. So an out and gay teenager.
I remember from ages ago, like him wanting to come out to his parents, but they already knew, and I was like, isn't that beautiful? Well, way to right around that conflict, MCU, but it's nice.
Yes,
It's
I
nice.
do have to say that there aren't a whole lot of examples in the MCU of um, that that conflict, that confrontation, and the you know I don't know that they've ever written anything about North Star's parents and their reaction to the fact that he's gay, or and I didn't know that Hulkling's parents just sort of accepted it, which is cool.
Okay, it was one or the other, because sorry, it was a while ago.
That's
It
okay.
was one or the
That's
other.
okay.
I think it was Hulkling, because I remember having the comic and just being like,
It is wonderful.
"Oh,
Late people showing up. Lovebug, welcome to the show. Luna Land, welcome to the
hi."
show. Um, Dyslexicon, Marvel has always been great with touching on social topics in comics, but DC somehow got the jump on them with things like depicting awesome tough gals and lead roles in movies. WTF? Um, yeah, so I think because once the Disney acquisition happened, Disney has been much, much more in control of the cinematic universe,
Yep.
and a lot of this stuff, this socially aware writing in Marvel Comics had happened. I mean, that goes all the way back to literally the late '60s when Harry Osborn was hooked on drugs. In Spider-Man. Um, they've done socially aware and socially conscious stories a lot.
Again, I remember the Hulkling story, and I don't remember if it was him or his boyfriend. Like I remember again, it's that long ago, which is not bad. It just means it's that far back in the world of comics that I remember this story as being like one of them being, Hulkling or North Star just being like, "Mom and Dad, and they're like, "We know, we love you, son." And it's like, cool.
Cool. Eli Chavez, what up with your own bad self? Welcome to the show. We on my screen we're kind of locked up and buffering. Let me know if that's not the case for you guys, or if it is the case for you guys. That's on my preview screen where the chat is. So um, anyway, so Eternals, yay for Eternals, yay for Marvel, yay for we only have to wait until November to see this happen. Um, I'm excited. Moving on to our next topic. So here's one of the let's break the fandom trailer drops that happened. My Twitter lit up like a firestorm when this dropped, and it's just like a super short teaser for Stranger Things season 4, and
Stop!
yay, yay!
I'll try not to talk too much, Rodney. I swear to God.
You talk all you want because we get to see. If you really absolutely don't want any sort of spoilers, sorry, I've spoiled it for you just because of this image. But clearly, Hopper's alive, and Hopper's in Russia, in a Soviet gulag of all things. Wonderful.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt you.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I just
Okay.
fire away.
This was the thing, is that they teased it and everyone's like, "Oh, he can't be dead. He's Hopper." But it's like, this was my thing. This was my fear, is that there are so many actors that do so well in these amazing, amazing TV stuff. And then they're like, "I've got great fame. I'm going to go do movies. So give me a death and write me out." And I am like, dude, don't do it. Do not leave this. Stranger Things is a phenomenon. There are things that come to us that end up being phenomenons, like Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, whatever. Stranger Things is one of them. Don't leave it. And I'm just like, oh gosh, if he leaves it, that'll be so stupid, because you just can't guarantee yourself in movies. We were talking about Disney remakes earlier. The guy from Downton Abbey was the main dude. He left. to be in movies. He went and he did Beauty and the Beast, and then he's now on I Am Legion, whatever. But like, dude, who are you? Hopper, we're
Don't
counting on
leave.
you. Yeah, don't leave. So he's there. We're all happy. Also, as someone who cosplays him, thank you for. I mean, I've done it a bunch of times, and
Yeah, but see, now you're gonna have to shave your head.
no, I will not. I know. I'm like, I am waiting. I saw that. And I was like, well, that's not a look I'm gonna do. I do cosplay. I do cosplay Sheriff Jim Hopper, and I do perform burlesque as him. But you will not see me go incognito with a shaved head and with a bald cap. Do you see all this hair? It's not gonna happen. I'll keep running.
Helen Jaden, welcome to the show. Yes, Love Bug. What? Season 4? Yes, season 4. They put out the teaser. So, like, I agree with your point about it's a shame. Much as I love Legion, and I think crap, I can't remember the actor's name.
Can't
That
either. I just don't remember what he's in.
yeah, that plays David Haller, the X-Men character Legion in the show Legion. He's amazing in that show, and it's an amazingly bizarre and weird show. Um, but I would like to think that the people who are involved in Stranger Things know that they've got something really good. It's willing to accommodate their production schedules and so on. The cynic in me thinks that it was up in the air as to whether or not Hopper would be coming back until the Hellboy reboot sank like a stone,
I
and
want
Harbor
to
went,
watch
"Ooh, I need money."
so bad. I know. I was so excited for that. I was watching them like I was like, dude, he's getting fit. This is gonna be amazing. I love Hellboy. It's a comic I actually followed. This is gonna be great. And then it came out, and I didn't even see it even come to theaters.
It
And then
did. It came and went. I mean, it was gone
yeah,
in a
no,
couple of
yeah, it was
weeks.
like, phew.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it's like, ooh, going, you're flicking through looking for something to watch, and it's like, oh, here it is on video. It's like, well, let's look what, sorry, Rotten Tomato says, whatever. Let's look at the tomato meter. It's like, oh, it's like 17 or 19%. Oh my God.
I still tried, and I gave up after about halfway through.
I
I just
did
went, this is
try.
just garbage.
Yeah, I held on to the actor. I just love David Harbour, and I held on to him. And seeing the previews for the Black Widow movie, I'm like, oh God, he's the comic relief. This is either going to go really well or it's going to be really bad.
Oh, I can't wait for him. And honestly, I think that's why he looks so thin. I mean, it works for the fact that he's in a gulag, but I'm guessing he clearly lost. Even though they make jokes about his suit just barely fitting, he clearly lost weight and bulked up for Red Guardian in the Black Widow movie. So I think that's why he looks like he does now, and they're just going to carry that through because it makes sense. He's in a gulag. He's starving. Luminous, the Soviets are a nice 1980s villain. Yes, they are, including their Terminator ripoff in Stranger Things 3. Dyslexicon. He's definitely not going to be not quite right considering what happened. True. And also Dyslexicon, and somebody better play D&D with Will. He's a good boy.
That's a whole other topic. Is the will erasure for sure.
Yep.
For sure. I'm here to play D&D with him also. I lost my DM. She moved to Portland. I miss you,
Oh
Rebecca.
no!
I know. Our
Bummer.
party broke up after 4 years.
Dyslexicon. Dave got in crazy shape for nothing. Nice that you're on, that informal a basis with him. Good to know. Sorry, busting your chops. All right. So what do we know about when this is happening? Do we know? Did they announce? Because they usually don't announce. Netflix announce this stuff. Yeah, we don't have an announcement about.
Stranger Things has either been like late summer or it's in the fall.
It's usually in the late summer, September-ish. And they announced back in September that it was coming back for a 4th season. So I don't think it's going to be. Well, maybe it'll be this September. I don't know. I hope it'll be this September.
I can't imagine that they would not do it. I mean, I know that's a quick production,
Yeah.
but I also know they're doing their best to get the kid, like they're doing the same thing that where they've got to get these kids before, I mean, the kids are growing up.
The kids are growing
So,
up.
yeah, so, you know,
Speaking of that, I got to. So I just put the picture back up there. My absolute favorite tweet actually came from the Stranger Things writers' room, their official Twitter feed, and they just said, "Wow, 11 looks different this season." I'm like, yes, the shaved head is like, oh my god, now you can't see that, or you can't unsee that.
oh my gosh, yeah. They have to work fast unless they are going to write these kids. They can't again do like, again going back to Game of Thrones. They got away with some stuff where they just played with time. Where Arya was still really small and Bran was still supposed to be like 6 or 7 years old, and then it's like, wow, he's really big.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is not fantasy. It is horror, reality, nostalgia. I don't know what you call it, but they got to work with in the timeline.
Yeah. Well, I think they did indicate, oh, YOLO Joe the bro. Okay, bye. And hello, because I didn't see you come in, but bye. Have a good evening. Um, and like I said to somebody last week who was talking about people not chatting, I said, hey, we lurkers are fine. Absolutely. You just want to watch the show and hear what we have to say about stuff. That's absolutely fine. You don't have to chat. We love chatters. We love lurkers. Love them all. But anyway, and your point was
The kids.
the kids.
If
From
they're
what I
gonna
understand,
keep
they
kids
are
young, they got to be fast on production.
exactly. What I understand, they are moving this forward a couple of years. So, based on what I've read, is that there will be a time jump of not like it's goes from 84 to 85. I think this is going up or into the late 80s when this one will take place.
I remember.
Dyslexicon. 11 hit puberty and puberty hit back. Yeah, let's hope not. Because that's a pretty serious puberty mustache going on there, if that's the case. Anyway, moving on to our last topic. And since it was the teaser and we haven't talked about it, you all pretty much know what's coming up. There on your screen, there it is. There is what everybody is calling a teaser trailer, and it was not. It was Matt Reeves, the director, leaking literally test footage of the suit. So it's, I don't think it's 10 seconds long. But it's amazing. And yes, I made the joke, and I stand by my joke of Metal Gear Batman. Tell me that is not Raiden's armor. Even the way the shoulder armor pieces connect to the raised angular chest, that's Raiden's armor right there. No. But anyway. What did you think, Gogo? Did you see it?
Yes, I did. I am a ginormous Batman fan. That was my absolute first comic, along with old.
Oh. Gogo, we just hung up.